Hello everybody. Thought I'd give an update on how my garden for 2016 is coming along. Start here on my little workstation. On the bottom shelf I got the water with the fertilizer. I really don't use that much because the plants just aren't big enough to need that. Cups to put in. These my wife got, I believe, at GFS, and these are the little markers I use. Just write right on there, stick it in the dirt, you're good to go. Otherwise there'll be no chance of remembering what you're growing. Gardening can be cheap as long as you're willing to look around, keep stuff, reuse stuff. We use these handy little yogurt cups. Perfect little mini greenhouse. Got my peas started in those this year. Takeout containers, solo cups, anything like that you find, just keep it. Keeps everything cheap. Don't have a lot of money. Gardening should be cheap. Part of the reason why I grow. Saving your seeds. These are my basil seeds. Probably got enough for the next 10 years. And these are only part of my cilantro seeds. Probably have a couple thousand of those. All for free. Okay, see what I got growing here. Got all my tomato plants and my peppers here. Started these in about January. And they only get sun for a few hours a day. So if I had grow lights, I'm sure they'd be doing a lot better. But as you can see, got a big old pepper plant here. I don't really take the time to top these off or anything, and you know, you might get better results if you do it that way, but I just don't have the time or the heart to cut these things. Got plenty of tomato plants, and as you can see, they do get leggy, but all that says to me is I got more stem to put into the ground when I finally transplant it to get more roots. This is my beefsteak variety, my favorite kind. I got several varieties I'll be growing this year. Gregory's Altai, Kellogg's Breakfast. Love the Kellogg's Breakfast. I'm kind of surprised when I made a salsa out of that how good it was. It's kind of an orange beefsteak tomato. Plenty of pepper plants, yum yum, the mini sweet pepper plants. And should be some bell peppers in here. That's a Hungarian hot wax. That one, very easy to grow. A very useful pepper. And a little cilantro. Throw cilantro in wherever I can. We use a lot of it, and it's so easy to grow, and I have so many seeds. Okay, I'll take you to the other growing section. Okay, here's my second growing section. Pretty much any window that faces the sun ends up getting plants in our house. This is the Rocotillo pepper, which is kind of one of the super hots. And one of the things about super hots is they grow very slowly. You need to plan ahead on those. This is my basil plant. This one's doing okay for now, but all the ones before it have had problems with the leaves turning brown, dying. I'm not really sure why. Maybe they just don't do well in containers. These guys here are the eggplants. Those grow very well here. I'm sure I'll get some flea beetles on them, but they survive those. This here is my patio hybrid. And this is one of the sturdiest plants I grow. I mean, this stem grows thick no matter how you grow it. Little cherry tomatoes. Looking forward to those. And let's see what we got on this one here. This is a Sioux. This was free from tomatogrowers.com. And another Kellogg's down there. So that's this section here. I'll take you to the next one. Okay, here is the next section. These I believe are probably the first transplants I had. As you can see, they're doing pretty well. The tomato peppers are getting pretty leggy. Like I said, I'll just bury those into the dirt and hopefully make them extra healthy with the extra roots. This is the example of the basil plant that just isn't doing well in containers. I don't know what happened to it. It could be too, I've taken these out into the sun a couple times and they may have gotten sunburnt. I do have a pepper plant here. It's got actually kind of thick, but it's growing with a kink in it. So I don't know. Hopefully that one can fix itself. I may try to fix that with a little stick and some string. This guy here, I don't know if you can see it on there. He's already growing peppers, so you don't really want that to happen yet. Kills me, but I've been picking off the peppers. I got plenty of peppers growing. This is a bell pepper. Looking pretty healthy. This is probably another one of the super hots. It's kind of small. I guess, yep, that's the orange habanero. Probably my favorite pepper. Tastes so good. Got another healthy one back here. Probably another bell pepper. Yep, yeah, big bell pepper. So looking forward to those. Okay, so those are all of my seedlings for now. I'll be having orange habanero peppers, big bell peppers, Hungarian hot wax, the red chili peppers. Probably a few other ones I can't think of off the top of my head. The tomatoes will be red cherry tomatoes, the big beefsteak tomatoes, Gregory's Altai, which is supposed to be a cold weather beefsteak tomato, and some eggplants that you saw, basil, cilantro. So those are just a few of the ones that I've gotten started and transplanted. So I'll take you down and show you what seeds I got working on right now. Okay, here are the seeds I have started now. Some of them you don't start as early as the tomatoes and peppers. Those started, I believe the peppers started in January. Those take a long time to get going, get established, so you can start those early. I'm in zone 6A or 6B, I'm not sure, Southwest Ohio. The tomatoes I started probably mid-February. Those grow a lot faster, maybe even the end of February. So you don't want to start those as early. But there are some that grow too fast that you don't want to start them too early. So I started these a few days ago. Not coming up yet. The cantaloupe, watermelon, butternut squash, cucumber, and zucchini. So when those come up, those are big seeds. Those are going to grow fast. I still can't put out for another probably month and a half. Got the basil going. Another Rocotio. And a jalapeno that grew that big and then just stopped. One thing I'm not having any luck with is the asparagus. There's asparagus in all these dirt holes that have nothing growing in them. I'm not sure what I did wrong. So I may have to try to do those again. Okay, let me take you outside and show you what I got planned for the year. Okay, here is the outside of the garden where I'll be growing stuff, and just to show you how much food you can get out of a small yard. I'm not sure how big my yard is, probably less than a half an acre, if even a quarter of an acre, I'm not really sure. But it's just your standard suburb yard, cookie cutter house. So let me show you what I got. This is the cilantro, which is probably my favorite plant just because it never dies. These are just seeds that fell last year when I was harvesting the seeds off the cilantro plants. These started growing last fall and survived the entire winter and couldn't be any healthier. So I'm amazed that in this climate that they survive the winter. Here I got some lettuce growing in a planter. Not sure how well this will work, but we'll give it a try. They've survived a couple frosts out here already. Goes to show you that you don't need it to be warm to grow stuff. About probably 2 or 3 frosts at least since that started growing. Every now and then you'll find a patch of cilantro. You never know where the seeds are going to go. And this is my garlic. I think I planted this maybe in February, and it's doing pretty well. It's also survived a few frosts, which I guess is supposedly good for it. So we'll see. It's supposed to get really cold, I think, this Saturday night. I might try to cover up some of this stuff. I'm not really sure how much you need. Okay, let me go up here and show you some more of the cilantro and what I've done to this garden, what I've done to build up the dirt, what I plan on doing. See, pretty much everywhere you go, you have cilantro. This is where I grew it last year. And unfortunately, I have this nasty weed. I don't know what it is. I don't treat my yard because of the garden, but I'm going to have to this year. But it's growing up into the cilantro. Okay, so what my plan is, pretty much this whole area will be cilantro up front. It's not very deep there, plus I hear it keeps the deer away. But for this dirt, when I first started it, last year I got 17 cubic yards of leaves, which I'm not sure if you realize how much that is, but it was a ton. And it was probably, and these are smashed leaves, not loose leaves, and they were about a foot high. And as you can see, less than a year later, probably a year later, the leaves are all gone. I mean, we had thousands and thousands and thousands of worms, and they just went to town and ate all the leaves. Probably made some great dirt, but I really regret not getting any more in November. Basically what I did, and you should probably try this too, called my city up, and we have a leaf collection program. They would not let me come get it where they dumped it off, but they happily dumped off an entire truck. And it couldn't have been better for me, and I really regret not getting more this past year. So I'll definitely be doing that every year from now on. So basically all I have in is my tall grass I cut down. Hopefully that'll be a good weed control and keep the moisture in. I did put this down last year too, so there were some happy worms in our garden last year. Down here I do have some of my green onion I've transplanted. Not really doing great, but they're still alive, so I fully expect them to come back. That one's doing pretty good. And I threw in a couple of cilantro. So like I said, this will be my tomatoes and my peppers in here. Down here I may throw in a zucchini plant, more peppers, more tomatoes. There's another patch of cilantro. Okay, now this section right here behind these bushes, I usually like to do cucumbers, so I'll probably do more cucumbers there. And this is where you can see not having the leaves is hurting me. The weeds and the grass are starting to approach into the garden. This section actually still has a little bit of the leaves left, but not a lot. So I really need to do something about this. Have to weed it. I don't really till, and then try to get these weeds out of here and stop them from growing. Okay, this is the side of my house, and normally I wouldn't have thought that this would have been a good place to grow stuff, but I had the best butternut squash growing here that I've ever had. And they were all volunteer plants, and they just grew amazingly well. So what I like to do right here is where I did my eggplant. Probably do that again this year. Started a few cilantro back there. Why not? But I'd like to get leaves over this whole area, burn all that, and open that area up, add another compost next to that, and then grow all in this area right here. So it probably still gets 6 hours of sun, which I guess is plenty. And eventually this could be my lettuce, spinach, herb area that doesn't need a ton of sun. So anyway, that's the plans for this area. But like I said, you know, my yard is not that big. Basically big enough for a volleyball court in the back. That's about it, which we love. That's why we had to get a yard so the kids could play. And the garden doesn't really get in the way, but I do admit I lose some tomatoes, some peppers to the balls flying around. And here's my raspberries. The kids love raspberries, so started these last year. I had one cane grow out of 5. The others all died, which did not make me happy. But as you can see, raspberries send up shoots all over the place. So I have, let's see, 4 more that started last year. And then looking on the ground, there are so many starting for this year that I will probably try to dig some up. I'd like to spread it down this section here. I do have other plans this year for this area, but in the future I'd like for the raspberries to come down at least another 5 to 10 feet. Let's see, I do have peas growing out here. These were transplanted, and like I said, they've been through a few frosts. I haven't covered them or anything. They are doing just fine, so you can start stuff in March in zone 6. And then coming up are the rest of the peas that I planted. I got a whole bunch of them. I do have some, you know, you'll get volunteer plants. These are little tomatoes that have started to grow from the compost. Those die in the frost, or I'll pick them out. You've got some bush stumps here that I need to get rid of somehow because they're starting to sprout up still. I need to get rid of those. But I do have peas all the way down here and around the corner because the garden doesn't end here. Have a little, this was all landscaped when we moved in, so I was lucky to have this to get started with. Okay, right here I have my cold weather root vegetables. My daughter loves buttered radishes, and so do I. She doesn't eat the greens, but I do. So in this area I grew radishes, beets, carrots have all been planted. This area, I just got done talking about, I'll have cantaloupe there this year. That's where I usually grow my cantaloupe. And then this area will have the watermelon, and I will just have the watermelon grow over my root vegetables. The radishes will be done before I even get the watermelon out of here. And hopefully the rest of them will be established enough that a few vines going over them won't be a problem. The only thing that's sprouted so far, I believe these are the radishes. So we'll give those a little bit longer, thin them out, but I got 2 rows of the radishes. And then at the end here, I'll probably grow another zucchini plant. We do like our zucchini here too. So this will be watermelon, zucchini, root vegetables, just out of this little area right here. Like, as you can see, the leaves are completely gone over here too. Okay, and this side of the house, which I was surprised got as much sun as it does, but it does. And I'd also like to expand this part of the garden too. And we're both going to see how this survived the winter, because I haven't been down this side of the house since last fall. But right down here, I had the peas growing. In front of them, I'll grow something. Pepper plants maybe. Not sure, but not going to waste any area. As you can see, you still see a lot of the leaves left back there. And even some up here. But they're pretty much gone up here and the grass is coming in. This is my compost pile, not compost, but yard waste pile that I need to get rid of. This will be my asparagus bed once I get that done, but I need to get in here, burn all this stuff, get it cleared out. Got a lot of work ahead of me. I have a ton of this is that tall grass. and I got a ton of that. And I just don't know how to get rid of it. I don't want to put it in a landfill. Okay, through here is where I grew butternut squash, cantaloupe, and tomatoes last year. I'm not really sure. I know the butternut squash is going to go in here, but I don't know what to grow in with it. Wow, I really haven't been back here for a while. Obviously got a lot of weeding to do over here. Neighbors probably love me. So anyway, that's what I got over here. And I'll actually grow it pretty much down to this pine tree. And that pine tree I hope to get rid of. I'd love to put a fruit tree in there, but I have to have something that doesn't grow very big, is easy to maintain. The only suggestion I've had so far is a dwarf mulberry, but I'm not sure the family would enjoy mulberries, so kind of researching that still. If you have any ideas, just put them in the comments below. I'd appreciate it. And that's it. As far as I know, I don't know if you're allowed growing in the front yard in Fairfield, but I won't do that to my neighbors just yet anyway. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm looking forward to my garden this year. Should be getting a ton of food out of here. Had a ton last year. We do have a problem with deer, so hopefully that won't be bad. They didn't really affect my garden too much last year. I think what people told me is the volleyball net, all the lines. We actually do have like this line here for the border, that the deer trip on that and then are afraid to come back, so maybe that's why I don't have that bad of a problem yet. And that is where my garden will be. And I will try to do updates periodically. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to share and subscribe. And if you have anything else you'd like to see more of, just let me know. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to everybody later.